You have told yourself the same lie for 5 years, not on purpose, not because you are weak, but because the lie sounds so reasonable. I will start when I feel ready. I will start next month. I will start when things calm down. And somewhere in the middle of all that waiting, an entire version of your life quietly walked away. It did not announce itself. It did not warn you. It just left. One ordinary day at a time. So here is the only question that matters right now. What if you do not need 5 more years? What if you only need 5 days? Not to become perfect, not to become rich, not to become someone unrecognizable overnight, but to become the person who finally stopped waiting. Stay with me for the next 20 minutes, because by the end of this, 5 years is going to feel unnecessary, and 5 days is going to feel like a weapon. Let's talk about the trap first. The 5-year trap, it does not look like failure while it is happening. It looks like patience. It looks like preparation. It looks like I'm just being smart about this. You wait for motivation, because motivation feels like permission. You wait for confidence, because confidence feels safer than risk. You wait for Monday, because Monday feels like a clean page. You wait for the new year, because a new year feels like a new person. You wait to feel ready, as if readiness arrives like a delivery truck. But readiness is not a delivery. Nobody drops it off at your door. You manufacture it through action, or you never get it at all. Here is the uncomfortable part. The people who waited 5 years and the people who changed in 5 days were standing at the exact same starting line. Same fears, same doubts, same tired mornings. The only difference is one group kept negotiating with themselves, and the other group stopped negotiating. Think about your own life for a second. Think about the version of you from 5 years ago. What did that version of you say they wanted? Did they get it? If the honest answer is no, then here is the truth underneath that no. You were never missing time. You were missing a decision. Time was never the obstacle. Comfort was. And comfort does not announce itself as the enemy. It disguises itself as safety. It whispers that tomorrow is just as good as today. It tells you that one more delay will not matter. But delay is never singular. One delay becomes a habit becomes an identity, and an identity becomes 5 years. Gone. So let's stop pretending the 5-year version of this story is working. Because it is not. It never was. Now let's talk about why 5 days is different. 5 days will not fix your finances. 5 days will not repair everything broken. 5 days will not turn you into a different human being by Sunday night. But 5 days can do something that 5 years of waiting never did. 5 days can interrupt the pattern, and a pattern interrupted is a pattern that loses its grip. Think of your old routine as a rope, pulling you backward. You do not need to destroy the entire rope in one motion. You only need to cut it once. Once is enough to prove it can be cut. Here is the philosophy for the next 5 days. So remember this line. You are not trying to finish your transformation in 5 days. You are trying to prove that your transformation has started. That single proof changes everything. Because once you know you can keep a promise to yourself for 5 days, you can no longer lie to yourself the same way. You can no longer say, I'm just not a disciplined person. Because you will have evidence against that story. This is the same law that governs every version of strength that was ever built through struggle. Nobody becomes powerful by staying comfortable. Power is built the same way muscle is built. Through resistance, through repetition, through refusing to stop when stopping would be easier. The fighter who keeps getting back up is not fearless. He is simply more committed to growth than he is to comfort. That is the entire secret, not talent, not luck. Commitment stronger than comfort. 5 days from now, you will not be finished, but you will have entered the fight. And entering the fight is the part almost nobody actually does. Day 1 is not about achievement. Day 1 is about confrontation. Today, you are not fighting the world. You are fighting the version of yourself that has been running the show for years. The version that scrolls instead of starts. The version that says later and means never. The version that has broken more promises to you than any other person ever has. Look at that honestly, not with shame. Shame does not build anything. Awareness does. What have you been avoiding? What excuse do you reach for automatically, without even thinking? I'm too tired, I don't have time, I'll feel more motivated tomorrow. Say the excuse out loud, and then do the smallest possible action against it. Not the whole mountain, just one step onto it. Day one is not about perfection, it is about proving the pattern can be broken, even slightly, even imperfectly. Because here is what nobody tells you about old patterns. They do not collapse from one strike, but they do crack. And a crack is where new light gets in. So today, take the one action you have postponed the longest. Do it badly if you have to. Do it small if you have to. But do it because tomorrow depends on what you prove to yourself tonight. Day 2 has one target. The thing you keep avoiding, you already know what it is. It appeared in your mind the second I said it. The workout you keep skipping. The conversation you keep postponing. The project sitting unfinished, collecting dust and guilt. The skill you claim you want, but never actually practice. Here is what almost everyone gets backward. They believe confidence comes first, and action comes second. Once I feel confident, I'll start. But confidence does not work that way, and it never has. Confidence is not the cause of action. Confidence is the result of it. You do not think your way into becoming capable. You act your way into it. Every rep, every attempt, every uncomfortable step forward becomes evidence. And evidence is what confidence is actually built from. Not hype, not speeches. Evidence. So today, stop asking whether you feel ready. You will never feel ready for the thing that scares you. Readiness is not a feeling that arrives before courage. It is a feeling that arrives after it. Here is the harder truth hiding underneath all of this. The task you keep avoiding is not just sitting there, neutral, waiting patiently. It is quietly weakening you every single day you avoid it. Every day you dodge it. You confirm to yourself that you are someone who dodges. That confirmation adds up. It becomes identity. So today, walk directly at the thing you have been walking around. Not because it will be easy, because avoiding it has already cost you more than doing it ever could. Day 3 is where most people quietly disappear, because day 3 is the day motivation runs out. The excitement of starting something new fades fast. That initial burst of energy was never meant to last. It was only meant to get you moving. What keeps you moving after the excitement is gone is something else entirely: discipline. And discipline does not care how you feel. It does not wait for inspiration to knock. It shows up anyway. Let me ask you something, and I want you to actually answer it, not just read past it. What do you do on the days you do not feel like doing anything? That answer right there tells you more about your future than any goal you have ever written down. Because your goals do not get built on your best days. Anyone can perform on a good day. Anyone can train hard when the fire feels alive inside them. The real turning point is what happens on the flat, gray, uninspired days. When nothing feels exciting and everything feels heavy. Those are the days that actually separate people. Not talent, not circumstances. Just the willingness to continue when continuing feels pointless. Think about anyone you have ever admired for their strength, real or fictional. They were never strong because they never struggled. They were strong because they trained on the days struggle was loudest. They got knocked down, and they treated the ground as a temporary location, not a permanent one. So today, do not wait to feel motivated. Show up exactly as tired, unmotivated, and unsure as you are. And do the work anyway, because that single act, doing it while not feeling like it, is worth more than 100 days of doing it only when it was easy. That is the day the pattern truly starts to break, not the good day. This one, day 4, is where something shifts internally, not visibly. not dramatically, but quietly, underneath the surface. Up until now, most people frame this entire process wrong. They say, I want to become disciplined. I want to become confident. I want to become someone who follows through. Notice the distance in that language. Wanting keeps the identity out of reach, permanently ahead of you, always one step further. Today, change the sentence, not I want to become someone who keeps promises. Instead, I am someone who keeps promises. That is not delusion. That is direction. Identity is not built from a single decision made once. It is built from repeated actions, stacked quietly on top of each other, until they stop feeling like actions and start feeling like character. Every small choice you have made across these 4 days has been a vote. A vote for the person you are becoming, or a vote for the person you are trying to leave behind. You do not need 100 good votes to start changing the outcome. You only need enough to shift the direction. Today, notice something important. You are not the same person who started this 5 days ago. Not because your circumstances changed. They probably have not yet. But because your evidence changed, you now have proof that you can choose differently. And once you have proof, the old excuse, that's just not who I am, stops being true because you already showed yourself otherwise. Let that sit with you today. You are not chasing an identity anymore. You are living inside the early proof of a new one. Day 5 does not feel like a finish line. It feels like a beginning disguised as an ending. Here is what makes today different from the other 4. Today is not about one more action. Today is about a decision to make the last 4 days permanent, because here is the danger nobody talks about. It is entirely possible to complete 5 powerful days, feel proud, and then slide right back into the exact rhythm you were trying to escape. That is the real risk, not failure. Relapse into comfort, yeah. So today, do not ask, what did I accomplish this week? Ask a bigger question. Who did I become this week? And am I willing to keep being that person tomorrow? When nobody is watching, and there is no more countdown to keep me accountable. That question is the entire point of these 5 days. The 5 days were never the goal. They were the proof. Proof that change does not require 5 years of waiting. Proof that it can start today, right now, in the middle of an ordinary week, with no perfect conditions and no dramatic turning point. Proof that the version of you that keeps promises has been available this entire time, waiting for you to stop postponing the introduction. So here is the challenge as you move forward from today. Do not go back to negotiating with yourself. Do not go back to waiting for Monday, or next month, or the next version of motivation that may never arrive. You already know what happens when you wait. 5 years happens, quietly, painlessly, and then suddenly, all at once, you do not have 5 years to give away again. You have 5 days, repeated, stacked, carried forward, again and again, until they stop being 5 days and start becoming your entire life. You did not need 5 years to begin. You needed one honest look at the pattern controlling you, one decision to interrupt it, and the willingness to keep showing up after the excitement disappeared. That is not a small thing. That is the entire foundation every real transformation has ever been built on. So take what these 5 days proved and refuse to let it end here. The next version of you is not 5 years away. It never was. It was always just 5 days, repeated on purpose. Starting today,